Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, beautiful friend. Welcome back to the podcast and happy just a few days away from Christmas. It's so fun. I hope you are having a beautiful holiday season. I hope you have found yourself surrounded by twinkle lights and accepted all the fun and fabulous invitations that felt good to your heart when you first heard about them, even if your body was saying, oh, I would rather not go when the date approaches. I just want to encourage you to go, to trust that yes that you had in your heart when you first heard it, but you do you. I am having the best week. I am having the best time with these Entertaining with Ease workshops that I've been doing. The last one in the series is today. It is how to host a New Year's Eve party, which has quickly become my favorite holiday. I used to be all about Thanksgiving when I lived in California near all of my family, and I used to host with my grandmother, and then I took over all the hosting, and it was so fun. And as I've moved to the other side of the country, and as I've continued to evolve and my life has changed in pretty significant ways, I am becoming more and more a super fan of New Year's Eve, if I have to pick a favorite, because I think it's all about reflecting on the past year and, more importantly, and more fun for me, setting intentions for the year ahead. So I have all of my guests at our New Year's Eve party write a thank you note to 2025 and then write a letter to our future selves to be opened a year from New Year's Eve. And it's so fun to look back and to look forward and set those intentions and then write that letter as the future version of ourselves. So I have in my hot little hand my little envelope that reads open on December 31st, 2025. And I'm so excited to see what it says. Because I don't remember what I wrote, but I know that it was full of dreamy expansion and glorious achievements. And I'm just looking forward to seeing that and then also doing the same in anticipation for next year. It's fun, it's a party, and those are exactly the words that I would use to describe today's guest. Cassy Williamson is fun and she is a party. She is the nationally recognized leadership coach, dynamic keynote speaker, and creator of the Unapologetic Leader Loop, a breakthrough framework used by organizations and individuals to lead boldly and build lasting impact. She is also the author of Unapologetic. She has a background in both healthcare and high-level sales. Cassy brings a rare mix of heart and hustle to every room she enters. Known for her storytelling, actionable strategies, and magnetic energy, Cassy equips high performers and emerging leaders alike to ditch the pressure to conform and lead with confidence, clarity, and conviction. Her work challenges the traditional leadership playbook and empowers people to grow, thrive, and lead just as they are. No title required. I know that you are going to love this woman, and I'm so excited to share this conversation with my new friend, Cassy Williamson. Beautiful, fun, bright, and shiny, Cassy. I love you so much. Listener, if you are having kind of a down day and you are not up for high vibe, good energy, you're just going to have to pass this by because this woman is so fun. She is pulling me up to her level, and I am here for it. Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for that kind and generous introduction. I am so excited to be here with you in this way. I think when we find good people, it's so nice now that through the world of virtual and all things, Zoom and technology, we can do this. We can be friends through the screen. And so it's so wonderful to be here with you and your listeners. I'm really really happy to have this conversation with you today.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I feel like it's lifelong friends that just met.
Yes. Yeah, I call them deep end friends. The people that you just can jump right
Mm.
into the deep end with, like when they meet your energy, you just vibe really easily. And I make the joke, you didn't like tip your toe in the water, you didn't like wade your way in from the shallow end. You just jumped in and it just felt easy
Right.
because those are the deep end friends that we're just fortunate to meet in this crazy life of ours.
Oh, it's so good. And I trust that you will find this over and over as you are doing different podcasts for the fabulous launch of your new book. It's like speed dating,
Yeah.
but it's vetted. So they're already fabulous. And when I get these beautiful introductions from James at Book Thinkers, which is
Yeah.
how I found you, you found
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I just already know. I mean, I think he's been sending me amazing, fabulous guests for over a year and a half, almost
Wow.
2 years. I think I said no thank you to the second person he pitched because it was a guy and he didn't know yet that I only speak with women. It's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
I love that he's vetting my new friend group
Yep.
and that you're all amazing people, but you are a special one.
Oh, well, thank you. I just feel like when we put out goodness into the world, when it's received by other goodness, it just attracts.
It's a
Now,
match.
it is. It's not always gonna work. I have definitely put it out there and it was not received. But for the right people, I feel like kindness serves in such a big way. And so I love getting to meet other good people because we just need more of it. And so we've got to band together and like connect good to other good because they're just the world needs a lot more energy, love, and kindness. That's just I believe that
Yes.
wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. And, the way that we both show up in the world with
Mhm.
enthusiasm, with great energy, with an invitation for love and abundance and all the good things,
Yeah.
we're doing that not because we want to present in a certain way or we want someone to think that we're some way. We're doing it for us because it
Yeah.
feels good to
Yeah.
show up that way. And that's what makes it attractive.
Yes. Oh, and I think when I'm doing leadership training to younger, aspiring leaders, maybe people who haven't had a team yet, what I try to explain time and time again is, you don't need a title to lead, first of all. I believe that
Mhm.
wholeheartedly. I've been bossing people around for a really long time. And
Right.
but the other thing is I try to help people recognize if they haven't already how good it feels to pour into other people in a good way.
Yes.
Like I feel so much better after getting to talk to people like you and, just getting to feel like I poured some goodness out there. It's just the way that it makes us feel is just as rewarding as it makes them feel. And so I'm like, just try it out. I promise. It's like a high that you'll keep chasing, but in a really healthy way.
Right, right, and it
Yeah.
will keep coming to you. You
Yes.
probably
Yes.
don't even have to chase, right?
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. So
Oh, it's
it's
so
it's
good.
just good. It is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's the big question.
I'm ready.
How are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Oh, this is so good. This is such a good question, and you prepared me. I was grateful,
Thank
and
you.
then I like was reflecting on how do you answer such a big question? Because that's a big one.
Hmm.
But where I think I landed was I am just right now in a phase where I'm saying yes to showing up unapologetically whole. So not a filtered version, not the one that someone's trying to like shove in a box, not the one that maybe makes other people comfortable. I'm really just saying yes to the version of me that's bold, can come off a little bit too much to the wrong people, driven by purpose, just deeply human because I want to normalize and empower other people around me to stop chasing a version of themselves that
Mm,
isn't it. That
yes.
isn't going to serve them, because I think we confuse earning our worth with dimming our light. And I'm done with it.
Ooh.
I'm done with it. And I want people to see me saying yes to being unapologetic and feel like they can too.
Oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. Can you say more about what you just said that like really caught me? Dimming your light, or what
Mhm.
was the other option?
Yeah, so we confuse earning our worth,
Earning our
I think.
worth with
Yeah,
dimming
I
our
think we
light.
confuse earning our worth with dimming our light,
Yeah.
especially women. I see this happening. I'm in a male-dominated industry, and I think so often we're expected to turn it down, to have a seat at the table. I mean, I was
And be pleasing.
Yes, yes, and I think we have some unlearning to do in recognizing that our worth is not tied to changing who we are. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not. And I had a leader tell me to tone it down, and that was like one of those moments for me where I was like, I was upset, and then I was like,
Mhm.
"No, no, 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 no." In my mind, I was like,
Right.
"I'm done. I'm not doing it," because those 2 are not, you don't have to have one without the other and vice versa. You should be able to show up as yourself
Right.
unapologetically and make a good impact, and I think we've got a lot of work to do on that, and that's really where the book came from, Unapologetic.
Yes, and I'm so eager to hear more about that because, we hear someone, if I'm too much, you're not enough. Okay. Well, yeah, that's going to work in are you going to go on a third date with that guy? But how does that play out at work in an environment? Like, is everyone just quitting their job and becoming entrepreneurs? Because I mean, that's what I did. But
Yes.
I was just always built that way. I've also been bossing people around for a long time.
We're good that way, Wendy. We share
Yes,
that.
get me with my clipboard and I am in charge.
Yes. I think that there is just like everything in life, there is a balance, right?
Yeah.
It's finding really, I think the doing the work for yourself to find out what is your why, what's your purpose, what do you feel like you're being called to do, and how do you show up unapologetically to do that, right?
Yeah.
And then I think once you're able to answer that, the answer for everyone is not going to be quitting your job or starting your own business. Like,
Right.
I think for you and I, we lean into the entrepreneur world because we have such strong passions and
Yeah.
desires and ambitions, and that is fantastic. But what I will say is, and there's an entire chapter dedicated to this in Unapologetic, is you need to pick a seat at the right table. You need to
Mm,
make sure that if you're sitting at the wrong table, that you find either the right seat there or you pick another table to sit at.
yeah.
I talk about how in high school and most movies from like the 80s were all around the high school cafeteria and like what table you sat at. And at
Right.
the time, this was like such a big deal, right?
Yeah.
It was a social status at that point. And
Hmm.
I ate lunch a lot of times in the bathroom. So that tells you where I fell on the ladder. But
Mm,
at that time, it was like you hung your hat on who you sat with at lunch. And
right.
so I think as adults, we have to reflect on, am I in the right organization? Am I
Yeah.
in a place where I'm supported by my team and leadership? Do I have the right seat? Do I have the right seat at the right table? And I think you can't answer those questions until you really kind of do the self work, the self
Yeah.
reflection, find out what is going to serve you, and then look for that next step. And I would challenge anyone listening who maybe loves what they do but isn't aligned with the culture, or loves the
Hmm.
culture but doesn't love what they do, to start having conversations around, well, can I create a position here that
Sure.
serves me more? Is there a place out there that can give me both? But what I will say is, and the biggest thing is, don't settle. Life is so short. Life is such a gift. We don't get it back. And I always get goosebumps when I talk about this because it's just so unfortunate the amount of women that I talk to and work with who are unhappy.
Yeah.
And that stinks. Like,
Yes.
because and part of my hope and prayer for Unapologetic is that people can read it and recognize, like, don't wait until you're in your 60s to say, "Oh shoot, I missed it. I missed it. Like, life blew
Right.
by and I didn't capture the happy in what I do." I
Right.
want to catch people earlier and sooner and have them recognize that it's one, never too late to
Right.
restart, reshift, reframe, but also don't wait. Like, don't let so much time go by. I mean, gosh, look at the way time goes by just for all of us in our day to
Yeah.
days. I've got two littles and I'd blink and I'm like, a month has gone by. I'd blink and
Yep.
another month has gone by. And it's funny because I think our parents were always like, just wait until you're older. And you're like, what? And then you get there and
Exactly.
you're like, oh my gosh, you guys are kidding.
Right. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. I love everything that you're saying. And I love that even, and I'm assuming I haven't read the book yet. I'm super excited.
Yes.
Um, but you can use these same formulas and ideas if you don't feel like you're in the right position in your home
Yes.
or in your relationships with your
Yes.
friendship. And of course, you do not have to burn everything down.
No.
Just because I burned everything down doesn't mean everyone else has to burn everything
Right.
down unless that's what you're supposed to
Unless
do.
you need to do.
So, right. I mean, my courage set both of us free. So
Yes.
I did not burn it down. However, I think that there is something that I don't know if it's, I don't want to generalize that it's all women. I'm going to say firstborn of German descent, like I follow the rules and raised in organized religion to have this feeling of I made this decision 25 years ago and it's just
Here.
too damn bad. I
Yep.
got to stick with it and this
Yep.
is my lot in life
Yeah.
and which is just
No.
nonsense and
No.
lazy,
No.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so how can we transition those formulas and principles that you have in the book to our relationships as well?
Yeah, so I think, what's so funny is the book is part memoir, part mindset shift, and
Mhm.
that's honestly how I operate. I
Yeah.
use the things that I've been through and the stories that have shaped me to teach what I think are lessons.
Mhm.
So when you're, going through the book, there's actually an unapologetic truth at the end of each chapter.
Ooh,
And so
awesome.
it starts in my childhood, but it moves through my adulthood. And my parents actually got divorced when I was in college, and I do a random rabbit hole. I'm like, hey, quick sidebar, where I talk about relationships and I talk
Yeah.
about marriage and I talk about, you know, finding your tribe, the salute to working moms. I talk about the plunge into parenthood and how much it impacts your marriage. I talk
Mhm.
about my relationships because I think that as women, a lot of times we forget that other people are struggling too. I just did a post about this because last night I ate mashed potatoes and applesauce for dinner. Okay, and
Awesome.
it was my 5-month old's leftovers because
Right.
that's all I had time for.
Right. And they weren't even at the proper temperature.
No, and I was giggling because and I shared it because I think as, like, women, we forget that the things that we share, the things that we see, or the things that are edited, it's not, and I said this, it's not all flash and fancy. Like, it's
Right.
not always rainbows and sunshine. And
Yep.
I think what's important is being able to recognize where in your life is your best yes and where in
Right.
your life you need to pivot. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes our best yes is actually in the no. It's in the walking away,
Mhm.
it's in the closing the door, it's in the
Yeah.
ending the relationship. And although that takes courage and bravery and getting really uncomfortable, we
Mhm.
have to get comfy with being uncomfy. And I think that if we look at that, because the book is not just a self-help and it's not just a professional. My hope for the book is that you can read it and resonate with multiple parts of it, knowing that it's going to serve you as a whole, unapologetically whole,
Right.
in all aspects of your life, because I don't think you can just be unapologetic at work and not at home. I don't think
Right.
you can just be unapologetic at home and not at work. And
Yeah.
if you are shape shifting, why? Like,
Yeah.
why? Why? And I think this just is like a the way we've been brought up, this culture
Mhm.
around like how we have to be X, Y, and Z at home, or how we
Right.
have to be X, Y, and Z as a mom or as a
Yeah.
professional or whatever. And that I'm sitting here saying, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying show up, in your pajama pants without brushing your teeth and like not brush, like, that's not what
Right.
I'm
And if
saying.
that's your authentic you, you're not actually going to show up.
Yeah, just work from
So,
home. Work from home and
right.
wear whatever pants you wanna wear. That's fine.
Right.
I'm not saying this is a get out of jail free card, but I do think there are
Right.
moments where we should recognize, why are we changing who we are
Yeah.
to make people around us either feel comfortable or to make ourselves more comfortable. And I think in
Right.
those moments we really have to assess why we aren't showing up unapologetically in all the spaces that we're in.
Yeah. Exactly. And unapologetic seems more like a destination than a calling card. Like, I'm not
Amen.
just like, "F it,
Yes.
you guys are gonna have to deal, this is just how I am." No, unapologetic is a result of doing the work
Work.
that is deep and personal and informed
Yes.
by your true self, by your desires, by the highest and best version of you, and you become so aligned with who she is that nobody else's experience or opinion can rock you. Like, your weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. And in likening that to the portion of my life, the 9 months where I sat in the question of my marriage before I had the courageous conversation, that what it was that foundation building, that alignment seeking between me and me with a capital M, right?
Yeah.
That allowed me to have the courageous conversation, that allowed the, his response and his experience, which he's allowed to have,
Yeah.
came at me. But because through that work, I became unapologetic in what my decision was,
Mhm.
then I could weather that storm with grace and love and respect for me,
Mhm.
which trickled down to how I was showing up in for him. But
Mhm.
my responsibility was to me. And that, I think that is what makes unapologetic not just, like you said, a get out of jail free card.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, and it's so funny because on the front it says a journey to living boldly,
Mm,
loving fiercely, and be nothing but yourself. I
mm.
am not here to say that this is a perfected system for me. Like,
Right.
I have a baby, I am in postpartum, and I am backsliding right into that version of myself I did with my 3.5-year-old that
Mm.
I wrote about in the book, because it's easy to fall.
Ah,
But the best thing about what we have with each new day is an opportunity to move forward in the right direction.
right.
And it's a reset. And I think when you surround yourself, and Wendy, you and I are like fast friends in this way,
Yes.
when you surround yourself with people who believe in you and
Yeah.
believe in you being your unapologetic self,
Yeah.
then in those moments where it's easy to backslide, you've got them holding you accountable.
Totally.
And the book has a lot of questions at the end of the chapters and self-reflection and little exercises to do, and it's part of what I do in my coaching. It's this idea that like, hey, we're all in this together,
Mhm.
and it is a daily effort. It is a
Yeah.
daily effort. And my husband would be the first one to share, over the last few weeks, I've not been doing my best job. And I wrote this book. Okay. So, but
Right.
I share that because you can't be afraid of failing. One of
Right.
the chapters is failure is just learning the hard way. That's all it
Oh,
is.
yep.
Like, all we can do from moments of learning and failure, quotation marks, failure, is learn from them and move forward.
Right.
It's the moments where we keep doing the same things over and over again
Yeah.
and expect a different result. Like,
Exactly.
we get frustrated when our kids do that, but yet we as adults do it all the time.
Right?
We have to be conscious of that. But I want anyone who's listening, and I hope anyone who picks up this book just knows that you are not alone. There are people cheering for you. And if
Mhm.
you haven't found those people yet, look for them, be open to them.
Yeah,
Like they're out there, but you have to be willing to get uncomfortable to find them too. And so I just think that that is part of the gift. That's part of the journey. And you have to do it every day. It's like
totally.
exercising. You don't,
Mhm.
unfortunately, you don't get to just go a couple times and be healthy forever.
Right,
You have to
right.
keep
It's not a college degree where you
oh,
just get it and then it's
yes.
done.
Yep,
Yeah.
I wish, but you have to keep going. You have to keep doing it.
Right. Well, I love that. And I love that even your invitation to for people to find someone to cheer them on. 100%, if you don't have someone to cheer you on, you can call Cassie and I,
Find
and
us.
we will cheer you on. We will DM both of us and we
Yes,
will right away. We
be
are
there.
here for it.
Yeah.
But I think it's so beautiful, even in your reflection of, yeah, this is a season that I am doing the best I can.
Yep.
I mean, I'm always doing the best I can. This is probably not something that anyone would write a new chapter about,
Yeah.
but it's really important to remember that this is a part of the process. And
Mhm.
really, the awareness
Yep,
is what's collapsing the timeline of how long you stay in this season of eating cold mashed potatoes and
exactly.
applesauce.
Yeah.
And
And I think too, you have to remind yourself that life is full of seasons.
yeah.
Like life is full of seasons, and some are great and some are not so great, and some are easy and some are just hard. And,
Mhm.
some days you get to wash your hair and shower, and some days you don't.
Right.
Some days you're just showing up the best that you can. But I think the idea is that you don't allow yourself to fall prey or victim to that space for too long.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things that I think as women we struggle with is asking for help. I still
Hmm.
struggle with this, and I dedicated a whole chapter to it because I think for a lot of us we suffer for too long even if
Yeah.
we have a great friend group.
Right.
But like and I put this in the book, our friends can't help us if they don't know something's
Right.
wrong. So
Hmm.
like I've had a very intentional conversations with my circle over the last couple weeks. It's like, hey, I'm circling the drain right now. This is a hard season and I just want you to know I need encouragement. I need you to
Yeah.
pour into me. And I hope by doing that I normalize it for them. And
Totally.
I've seen
Yeah.
by me going first,
Yeah.
they will call me and say, "Hey, this is one of those I need a friend moment." And there's a great Simon Sinek video about this. I can't remember how many minutes it is, but him and his friend have a code like I need 12 minutes or 7 minutes. If it's numbers, I always butcher it, Wendy. So I'm
That's
doing that
okay.
right now.
That's all
But
right.
if you Google friend minutes video, I can guarantee it'll pop up.
Right.
But it's this idea that like sometimes we just need a few minutes with a
Yeah.
friend and we
Yep.
can really shift the boat and
Yeah.
to the right direction. So if you're suffering alone right now listening to this, please don't. And if you
Right.
don't have the people, like Wendy said, we're here. Like I genuinely mean it. I know you mean
I
it.
totally like, I'm so
No one,
excited. I hope someone does it.
yeah, I no one should have to feel alone because you are not. You are not alone.
Right. Right. I love that, and I love the practical application and the time limit of I need 7 or 12 minutes. We'll find out.
Whichever.
The
Yeah.
amazing Shannon Warner will link the proper video in the show
Thank
notes
you,
because
Shannon.
everyone needs a Shannon. I need about 5 Shannons.
Yes, I
So
need a
she's
Shannon.
amazing. You do. I love that so much. I think I'm in a season of asking for help.
Mhm.
But what I noticed is that I'm getting really practiced at asking for help, and
Yeah.
I don't accept it when
Mm.
it's offered. It's wacky.
Oh yeah.
So, because the level of help that I need, like when I'm journaling, like I desire support.
Yeah.
It's like I desire 5 Shannons, and I would like them to come right now and already be here and already know everything Shannon knows and all
Yes.
the things.
Yeah.
But when the person at the grocery store offers to help me bag the groceries, which total sidebar, not helpful. These people have clearly never unpacked groceries at their home because, oh my gosh.
probably because they're like 14 years old and
Right,
they
but
don't do the
even
grocery
adults,
shopping.
even my 11-year-old goes, Mom, I really think my first job should be at the grocery store so that I can teach them how to make you not frustrated. I was like, oh my gosh, if you could teach people how to make me not frustrated, that would be a good gig.
Yes.
We all know that's an inside job, but I find it so fascinating because I had the awareness as I'm asking for help and then realizing, oh, the universe is giving me all of these opportunities to accept help, and I'm not
You're not taking it.
receiving it because it's not the help I'm looking for.
Mm,
But it's just those are baby steps,
yeah.
and I can practice, and I need to be in an attitude of receptivity
Mm-hmm.
so that I can feel supported.
Yeah. I think people with our personalities, the high achiever,
Mhm.
more type A performer, it's like I am such a giver. I will give, give, give
Oh,
all
sure.
day long. But
Hmm.
receiving makes me more uncomfortable because I like to give and I like to be in control. And so
Exactly.
there's this unlearning we have to do
Yeah.
with receiving because honestly, receiving little things is what desensitizes us to the bigger things.
Yes.
And I think that's a stuck for a lot of us.
Right.
But at the same time, I love the awareness because if we're not uncomfortable, we know we're not growing. And
Hmm.
I think we have to be really clear about where we have room to grow. And I think,
Yeah.
as we walk through this journey of what's your why, what's your purpose, where can I show up more unapologetically to fill my own cup? These are those opportunities to be like, well, my little homework of the day is to be more receiving of whatever
Hmm.
help someone opening the door. And then,
Right.
not apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get through. Little things like that, I think
Yeah.
rewire our brain because we've been programmed to think that like we can't, not that we're not worthy, but like we can do it. We can do it. We're independent women and we can do it. Like we
Right.
don't need help.
Right. And we apologize all the time.
Hmm.
So my daughter's 11, and both her dad and I are very mindful of how often she apologizes. And so I want her, because when we say stop apologize, you don't need to apologize for that.
Yeah.
That don't apologize. And then she steps on my foot and doesn't say, and I'm like, sorry, mom. She's like, oh, sorry, mom. So I
Yeah.
was realizing this parenting's very confusing. I just told you
Yes.
don't apologize, and then I scolded you for not apologizing.
Yeah.
So we've decided to we just create a full sentence anytime we're apologizing, we have a full sentence. I'm sorry that you didn't hear what I said, or that I wasn't speaking loud enough, or that you bumped your leg. Then we can say, oh, do I really need to apologize that you
Mhm.
bumped your leg? I'm sorry that happened, or I'm
Yeah.
sorry you experienced pain. So it takes us a long time to have any conversation because we have a lot of words.
Yeah.
I have a lot of words, but I feel like it is helping um just shift the narrative
Yeah.
of that we're just saying sorry, and then when we're receiving a sorry, we say thank you. We don't say that's okay,
Mhm.
because then that's confusing. Like, why
Yeah.
did I have to apologize if you're
Right.
just going to say that's okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
But if you have something to add to that, I want to hear that
I
too.
just think that's a fantastic strategy for other parents listening because I think in that moment, even as adults, we could probably do that because once we say it out loud, I'm sorry for walking past you first when you open the door like that. Then you're like, this is
Exactly.
weird. Why did I say
Right.
I'm
Never
sorry?
mind.
I love that. I think that is fantastic.
Hmm.
So that's my ad is I think that is something that we could all probably use in practice. And I think after a couple of days, we'd quickly realize how silly some of our sorries are.
Exactly. Or just changing that narrative of, hi. I could just say hi. I don't have
Yeah.
to say sorry that I
Yes.
walked past you.
Yes.
So interesting.
Yeah.
How do we collectively, how would you coach your clients? How would you coach me in this moment of, okay, I'm asking for help, so now I'm going to receive help. How do I balance this idea of settling
Mm.
with receiving help that isn't helpful? Because again, like the type A people that we are who get things done, who actually like to be in control. I
Mhm.
want help, but I need it to be exactly the way I would do it or better.
Yeah. Or don't help me at all.
That's because it's not helpful.
Right.
I'm not going to pay you to give myself another job.
Yes. So I think at that point, you have to reflect on, is the asking for help exercise, let's just call it that. If the
Mm.
asking for help exercise is to make it easier for you to ask next time, is it the
Mm.
practice so that
Mm.
you're better in the moment when you really need it with the
Yeah.
right person? Is that the reason? Or is the asking for help truly because you don't have time to bag your groceries and you need someone to do it? And I think there's a really big difference there, of like, I asked my partner to start the laundry and turn it over because I'm running out the door and I won't be home. But then I come home and half the clothes that are in the dryer should have been put on the hanger.
Yes,
And so I'm
yes,
like,
we
this is
are
why
the same
I
person.
asked you to do it. Yeah, that. So then you have to reflect, okay, did I ask for help because I'm practicing to ask for help to get better at asking for help? So when I have a Shannon come down the road, I am ready. Or did I ask for help because I truly couldn't have done it today? I wasn't home to do the laundry. We're out of socks. No one has underwear. And guess what? My shirt that was not meant to be dried got dried, but we can all wear underwear tonight when we, take a bath and go to bed. I
Right.
think those are the two trains of
Mm-hmm.
thoughts you really have to have.
Yeah.
And so in the moments where you're asking for help to get better at asking, then you ask for help in situations where it's okay if it fails. But if you're
Right.
asking for help in a situation where you really just don't have an option, you have to ask. Then whatever you receive, you just have to practice some gratitude and laugh about it. Like,
Right.
bless their hearts that they put the cold food with my bag of chips that is now a bag of crumbs
Mm-hmm.
because it shouldn't have gone in the same bag. But they bagged them for me. Great
Right.
example of this is on Saturday. I went to go pick up my groceries because I am that person. I no longer go in the grocery store. I love the grocery pickup. Thank you to whoever invented that. And this woman comes out and she's clearly disheveled. And I always know when they're short staffed because they're never on time when they text us that it's ready.
Sure.
And that's just, I'm like, it's one of those days. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen enough for me to see this pattern. So she comes out, she's so disheveled. And she is just profusely apologizing to me. It's almost like she was
Mm.
preparing for battle, like this woman is going to
Mm.
unleash. So I came back and popped the trunk and I'm helping her load groceries in my trunk because the whole parking lot is full and she's a one woman show. And she was like, and I'm like, oh, just is it a crazy day? And she was like, yeah, I'm not normally back here. I'm trying to help, but I don't know how helpful I'm actually being. And she just
Mm.
kept thanking me for being nice and apologizing for taking so long. And I looked at her and I said, listen, no need for apology. I just got to sit in my air conditioning car, scrolling my phone, doing what I wanted to do while you guys brought my groceries to me. And I
Right.
didn't have to go in the grocery store with my baby who's in the back seat. So no
Right.
apology needed. So I think in that instance, for me, it's like the help is the help that I needed and it made my life easier. And so
Mm-hmm.
even though it took longer and it was a little inconvenient, I'm going to practice gratitude in that moment
Yeah.
because I didn't have the option to run in with my baby in, the heat. Like I just didn't have that option, didn't have the time.
Right.
So that's a moment where it's like practice some gratitude and grace because that help was needed and I chose to take the help and I did it. But then on the flip side, if the help is practice, pick opportunities where it's okay if it falls apart, but you're like, but
Mm-hmm.
I asked, I did it. Does that make sense?
It totally does. And I love just the practical way of stepping through that process. And I can imagine for someone listening who might think, oh, good Lord, ladies, like what an eye roll. Everything doesn't have to be overthought, but actually it does. Because repetition, mastery comes with repetition.
Yeah.
And when you are creating a new mindset, a new thought pattern, new practices, yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
6 years ago, when I first embarked on this personal development journey, it took me so long to finish a sentence because I just had habits of thought that came out of my mouth, and halfway through, I'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Actually, don't believe that. In
Mhm.
the past, my practice would have been to blah, 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 say whatever I
Yeah.
was going to say. And it takes a long time, but that's the work. And
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, how hard is it?
Right. And you have to be mindfulness, right?
Mhm.
Because the thing is, if you're not overthinking through these things or you're not
Mhm.
mindful about your thoughts drive the train. Like your
Right.
thoughts, whether you mean to or not, like they are dictating the way that you go through the day. And so I think sometimes we almost would be better off if we overthought a little more often. If
Mhm.
we're trying to unlearn bad habits,
Right.
bad thought processes, bad responses. I grew up in a really toxic environment. I talk about that in a
Mm.
book. I'm still in therapy. I do a lot of work on the way that I react, respond, and think through things. And I think there's a lot of us who have faced,
Yeah.
trauma or challenges that we are constantly, and I put this in there, I'm functioning and fighting. That's what I'm doing. And every
Mm.
day I have to be conscious of the fact that I am still fighting some of that dialogue, still hearing some of those
Mhm.
things, still unlearning some of that negativity. And I think that that is what's always the funniest thing is people just assume if you're like us, high energy, happy, and kind, then you haven't been through anything. You're not going through
Right.
anything hard. And it's like normally it's the opposite. Normally those
Right.
of us who are trying to be a light, we're
Yes.
on the inside fighting our own darkness on a
Mhm.
regular basis. And
Right.
it's a choice. You choose the light. Like you have to show up and choose it. And so in these moments of even asking for help, reflecting on what is my desired outcome here? Why is that important? And how do I
Mm.
choose grace, whether it's for yourself or someone else? How do I choose gratitude,
Mhm.
whether it's for yourself or someone else?
Yeah.
Because it is a choice and it's a conscious one. It's a conscious
Right.
one. Unless you're just a unique unicorn, which my mother in law is so this, where you're just
Mm.
happy and you're just
Right.
people and you're just go with the flow. And then,
Brilliant.
wow, but that's rare. That's a rare, like I said, rare unicorn.
Right.
And for most of us, it takes work. And there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
putting in the work. You're worth it. You're worth the work.
Totally. And you'll be so grateful
Yeah.
of the person you're becoming in that process.
Yeah.
I see you in all of this while you are parenting
Mhm.
and reparenting yourself
Yeah.
in the process.
Yes.
I've recently decided parenting just takes all day long every day
Oh,
anyway, and I
yeah.
only have one. Conscious parenting takes like 7 days every day. It's
Uh,
so
it's
like,
so
"Oh my
hard.
gosh." I have a meditation practice because I have an 11-year-old, not also for me, like, the meditation at 5 a.m., that's for me. The
Yeah.
meditation in the middle of the day is for us.
Yes. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard, especially when you add on life on top of it. Because life does not stop lifing
Right,
when you have littles. It just
right.
on. Yeah. I end the book and I'm gonna do my best not to get emotional. I end the
Oh,
book
please, that's how everyone knows I'm not lying, so bring it.
I end the book with a chapter for my daughters, which was not
Oh.
planned. This chapter was not a part of the initial outline. I actually wrote it on an airplane in my phone notes. And it's
Mm,
probably my favorite chapter of the book. And
yeah.
for me, it's the whole reason that I am functioning and fighting and that I am trying to be unapologetic and that I'm trying to choose the light and ask for help and find the tribe. It's for me,
Yeah,
yes, but it's also for them.
yeah.
It's unapologetic is what I wish I would have had. Unapologetic is what I
Mhm.
feel like the world needs. Unapologetic is what I think our daughters and sons need to know now so
Yeah.
that they can continue to show up because in the chapter about my daughter, I was pregnant at the time with my now second. She loves dress up, and I share this story about how she went to the doctor's office dressed as Woody, and she is so unapologetically herself, it's not even funny. And I write about like, when do we lose this?
Yeah.
When does this like candle burn out? Because
2nd
kids,
grade.
yeah, because kids are born with this unapologetic fierceness. And my hope and prayer for her is that she knows the magic within her
Yeah.
and that she is so fierce in her unapologeticness through watching me, through watching the people
Mhm.
I've built around her very carefully, that she is so untouchable by the mean second grader or
Yep.
the mean teacher or whoever it is, that she's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
not for me. They're not for me and I'm not for them, but I'm going to keep on
Right.
trucking. And
Yeah.
so I think as a parent, it's hard because you want to do right by your kids.
Yeah.
But I love how you said, because this is true for many of us, I am trying to work through my own, you know,
Hmm.
bad parenting or things that I was told or narratives I was taught
Yeah.
while also not transferring
Yeah.
them to her. And I think
Right.
a lot of us are in this boat. I think a lot of
Yep.
us are trying to break this chain, like break the
Yeah.
cycle. Even like with makeup, I've had to be really conscious with her because I want her to know she doesn't need it. And when I'm putting it on, I'm getting fancy. But what
Hmm.
she doesn't know is if you see me without mascara on, you should call for help. Like this is a problem. And that is I have work to do on that.
Right.
But I'm not gonna go outside without mascara on. I'm not there yet. I don't know that I ever will be, but I was told my whole life I was not pretty without makeup. And so I
Mm.
want her to know that if she wants to put something on, because she's a girly girl, she can to be fancy. We love fancy Nancy, but like she
Yes.
does not need it. And
Yeah.
I am starting to notice the older that she gets, she's watching me. And there's gonna come a time really soon where I have to brave my own storm and leave the house
Hmm.
without freaking mascara on. And Wendy, that terrifies me.
Right.
But we also sometimes have to do those things for the little eyes and ears that are watching and listening us.
That's so fascinating. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
so vulnerably and generously. Amelia loves makeup and I cry all the time, so it would be a waste of time for me to wear makeup. So I love that she does that and that I'm not good at it, but she has been recently asking for concealer
Mm.
because she has a freckle on the tip of her nose. And like that's where I'm like, nope,
Mm-mm.
no, you may not cover that up because it's also gonna, clog your pores and then you'll have things that you have to
And she doesn't need
cover up.
it.
You're
And people
11.
are painting on their own fake freckles right
I
now. Does
know,
she
I
know that? Like,
know.
people are drawing on freckles right now, but it is so hard. It is so hard, and the older they
Mhm.
get and the meaner kids get and it's just it is a challenge, I think, when you have I'm not saying little girls with little boys, there's definitely challenges with both, but there's just all these norms
Right.
that we're just like and that's what the chapter is about, is
Yeah.
like, we as adults have to do better if we want
Right?
to raise children who are unapologetic. And I
Yep.
put in that chapter, we have to be okay with being unapologetically us if
Mhm.
we think that they're going to be able to be unapologetically them.
Right. And we don't even know how much programming we're operating with.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't know until I started raising her. So I was really surprised when I would find myself about to say something that, like, ooh, wait a minute. Hold
Yeah.
on. I actually have no comment about this. You should wear that makeup. You look beautiful. We
Hmm.
do say, dad's not ready for belly shirts. And she's like, I'm not really ready for those either. I'm like, good. That's
Yeah.
great.
It's so
But
unfortunate the crop tops are so back, but they are so back.
they're
They are
so
so back.
back. Oh my gosh. We saw a 90-year-old woman with a walker and a crop top
Well, good for
at
her,
the airport.
Gracie, for hunting
Yeah,
apologetic self in that crop top. Wow.
that's
Well,
right.
and it's just, it's so hard. And then you also have to teach them, like, people can make their own choices. We're dealing with this right now.
Yeah.
We are dealing with this so hard, it's not even funny. It's okay for people to make their own choices, and if they're their own choices, that doesn't mean you also have to make that choice, and trying to explain this to a 3-year-old is really hard, but
Hmm.
also, I need her to stop making bad choices just because she sees someone else do it.
Right.
So, for me, if she can follow the behavior, we need to talk about the behavior. It's just meeting her where she is to help her understand, and also, I so desperately want to raise someone who feels strong enough in their own skin to be a leader
Yep.
but also not like force anything. It's so like
Yeah.
walking up
It's no joke. I'm
no,
telling
I
you.
know. You can read all the parenting books in the world. You can think you've got it. But at the end of the day, I think the best thing that we can do as parents is have this awareness and just being conscious of it, I think is 5 steps ahead of where most of our parents
Totally.
were.
Yeah. For sure.
So for me, I'm
And
like
yeah.
functioning and fighting, not saying I'm perfect, learning every day, but
Mhm.
I'm aware of it. I'm aware, I'm aware, I'm aware. And
Right.
that's the first step. Admitting it is the first step.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I could easily talk to you all day long.
All day.
This has been so fun. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can get their copy of the book, all the good
Yeah.
things.
So CassyWilliamson.com, CASSY, is where you can find my podcast. You can find the book links. You can find all the information about me. It links out to my socials, Cassy Williamson on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm the rare Cassy, CASSY. Just think of Sassy Cassy.
Love it.
That's the easiest way to find me. But also to connect, reach out, let us know it resonated. These are
Yes.
my favorite things to do. So, I mean, for me, I love the messages. I love getting to hear how people resonate. It's the why we keep doing this. It's the why we show up because I believe that we are put in rooms to impact someone's life, no matter who it
Yes.
is. And I believe that of all people, and so I'm excited to get connected with people from here. And also, Wendy, just so grateful for you and what you're doing and what you're putting into the universe. Like you have such a bright
Mm.
light, and we're thankful that you choose to shine it. So
Oh,
I am so grateful.
thank you, sweet queen. I received that and reflect it right back to you.
Thank
Tell us
you.
quickly about the podcast.
Yeah, so my husband and I do a podcast called She Talks, He Listens.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It is free comedy for anybody who wants giggles and relatability to this crazy phase of life we're in. It's pretty raw, open and honest, and we talk about all the things. We've been together since we were 14, and so we've grown up together, and we've
I
seen the
love
good, bad,
that.
and the ugly of each other, and we choose to love one another through all these crazy life things. And it was honestly his idea. He wanted to create a space for couples that were hopefully younger to see that it takes work. But when
Yeah.
you're with the right person, it's worth the work. And so that's what it is. It's fun. It's light. They're short, 20 to 30-minute episodes. It's our hot date. That's what we do to pour into each other because when you have two kids under the age of 4, like there's just not a lot of time. And so it's the way that we're intentional about having fun conversations. So yeah, it's a good one.
I love everything about that. That
Yeah.
is amazing. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for sharing that. We will link everything down in the show notes. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm so excited. This will not be the last time that we're
No.
together.
No, and I'm hugging you so
Not a
big through the
chance.
screen. And to the listeners, I just so appreciate you. So grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.